Welcome back to Trucks and Junk, guys. Today we're going to do another revival video, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. This time we've got a bike with a title and a key, and it didn't come out of the junkyard. It actually came off Facebook Marketplace. So without further ado, let's get to it. Boy, it's a tight fit. Oh, yeah. So what we've got here is a 99 Kawasaki 500. It's been set up for, the previous owner said 3 years, but the plate says 11. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's been set up for a little while. So we've got carburetors that are stuck. They're not operating at all. The back brakes on it was stuck, so the back tire wouldn't even move. So what I had to do to get it off the trailer was I had to take this brake bar off of it that went from the frame to the brake hub to where the brakes and everything could spin, just so I could push this thing and put it in neutral. Hasn't ran, and he said 3 years. So what we're gonna do, it looks like it's been beat up with a baseball bat and just put up. But like I said, it's actually in, for sitting for a long time, it's actually in really good shape considering. The tires ain't dry rotted. The back tire is bald, but the tires ain't dry rotted. The seat's not too horrible. It's got one little tear in it right here. But like I said, the tank is destroyed. We'll probably be getting a new tank for it anyway. And all the turn signals are busted off this thing. Every single one of them, you know. So we're going to get all new turn signals. There's no mirrors. But first off, what we're going to do, since I've got it to where I can put it in neutral, I'm going to get me a battery. I'm going to stick it in here. And I'm going to see if this thing even turns over, or if the motor's stuck as well. I don't know. I know nothing about it. So you guys are going to follow along with me, and we're going to find out. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the seat and the gas tank off. None of it's bolted down anyway. It was all taken apart when I bought it. So take the seat off, gas tank off. Just make me some room in here. That way I can, that way I can get this battery hooked up and get in here and try to get around to these cars. Like I said, none of this stuff was hooked up when I bought it. Now it just looks like a regular old bike. There ain't no names to it. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put this battery in and see what we got. All this stuff out of the way. Boy, it's a tight fit. Woo. I guess the next thing we need to find out, does it turn over? Does it even turn over? Because like I said, guys, I don't even know. So I'll move you guys over here and we're going to give it a try. I mean, does it turn over? Got it on the on position. Got it on crank. Got a tail light. Goes nothing. Yeah. So she does turn over. Yeah. Well, we can check spark two ways. We can check spark with starting fluid, or we can check spark with pulling the plugs and seeing if we have spark. I'm gonna try starting fluid. We'll get some. I'll be right back. Alright, so since we're going to check spark with starting fluid, first thing we're going to want to do, we're going to want to make sure that there's antifreeze, which is full, which obviously you can tell by looking at the reserve tank that it's full, and you're going to want to check your oil. Now your oil IC glass is on the side of the motor there, and you're going to want to check it with standing the motor upright and making sure it has it. It does, it's full. Now I'm going to change this oil if it runs, but I just wanted to check it and make sure it's got it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and spray some starting fluid in here. The carburetors are locked up and have no gas. Right here on this other side. Now we're just going to hit it. Let's cross our fingers. Oh, yeah. So now we know the motor does run. That actually sounded really good. So now, I'll pull these carburetors off. And we'll clean them, get them freed up. Go from there. That's awesome. Heck yeah. Alright, now that we know that it runs, we're going to pull these carburetors off, get them cleaned up. There they are, double carter. It's completely locked up. It's not completely. This part is though, these butterflies are locked. No, not anymore, I just fixed them. Alright, so now we'll clean these carbs and we'll go from there. Okay, now that I got the carbs off of the bike, now I'm going to tear into them, see what all I need to clean on them, free them up, do whatever. Now, these little screws on the bottom of these bowls, they strip really easy. And I can tell somebody's already tried to be in here and stripped a few of these out. But what I like to do is I take a pair of pliers that have good grip on them first, and I just crack all these screws loose with the pliers first. That way they don't strip out. But like I said, these are already stripped, but I already went ahead and went through and cracked all of them loose, so y'all didn't have to watch my pain. But basically you take these screws out on the bottom, of each bowl, I like to do just one carb at a time. Even though they're connected, guys, I just try to clean one carb at a time, unless they're really bad. Then I'll break them all the way down and throw them in a hot cooker at the shop. But I don't have a hot cooker here. This is for do at home kind of stuff. So I took those 4 bowl screws out. Another thing you're going to want to do is make sure you have something to put all your screws and hardware in so you don't lose them. We'll grab that real quick. You use a Harbor Freight magnetic tray, a little bitty bowl like this, you know, just something to put all your screws in, just in case somebody knocks your stuff over or whatever, you don't lose all your screws and pieces. But take that bottom bowl off, just like so. And this is actually a really clean carb. I'm very impressed. It looks like whoever parked this thing up, they went ahead and drained the fuel on them. So that's awesome. Thank you, Shelby. So that's awesome. Let me get this other bowl off and see how clean it looks. But like I said, that is awesome. I'm impressed that it looks that clean inside. I don't even have to do much cleaning on these. They just seized up from sitting so long. That's just some WD-40 and some work in it. Be awesome. Oh yeah, both these carbs are super clean. Look at that. I'm still going to take these jets apart and clean them, take them out. Since I'm in here, might as well, you know, go ahead and pop this off of here. Just in, well, I'll just leave it in the way, it's fine. Alright, so this is what you use to adjust your idle, guys. This little knob right here. And then you got your fuel in, your fuel return. Then it takes 2 throttle cables, comes down from the handle. One comes down through this side, one comes down through this side. So when this cable pulls on it, it opens the butterflies, and then when you let go the spring load of the butterflies, bring your handle back. So it's pretty cool how it works. And then, like I said, they just bolt them together and make them just one carb, even though it's 2 separate carbs. But I like to keep them bolted together as long as I possibly can. Like I said, if they're really bad and corroded, then I'll take them completely apart, replace all the O-rings, all the bearings in them, and put them in a hot cooker. Alright, let me go find a flathead so I can pull these jets out and start cleaning jets. Alright. First off, I'm going to take this jet out. Look through it, see if it's clear. What you do is you look through the light. Yep, it's clear. I can see the light through the center of it, so that's awesome. And then they have a secondary jet, which this screwdriver ain't small enough to get to. Let me go find out. Probably gonna want a screwdriver this small, guys, or smaller. Be able to reach down in here to get to your secondary jet. And these are just copper, guys. They're not, or brass. They're very easy to strip, so be very careful. If they're very, very stuck, and I was just spraying some PB Blaster down in there and waiting for a little while. They should not be that tight to start with. But that one's stuck, so I'm going to spray some PB and we'll be back in just a little bit. Alright, so I sprayed some PB Blaster in there, got it freed up. So now we're going to try to get that out. Now that's this, in this hole right here, guys, is where that other jet is. Okay? And it's the one, I think it's your low idle jet, and it's normally the one that messes up the most. It gets stopped up real bad. and then you guys have trouble idling. So then you ramp your fuel up. See, moment of truth. Yeah, the hole was barely visible through that thing, so this would have definitely had an idle problem. So we'll sit that jet next to that jet, and then you're not done yet. You take your 10mm wrench and you take the baffle out for your center jet. Expansion tube is what I think they call it. I call it baffle. I don't know. I don't call it what they call it because I don't like to stay in line. Might be an 8. I don't know. We'll see. Thought it was an 8. And then we'll take that. Yep, it's an 8. And then we'll take that off. And there's another baffle tube for your center jet. Basically this tube or this jet, but a lot larger of a setup when you put the two of them together. Alright, so now what I do to clean those is torch cleaning tips, because they're super small. They can come in all like teeny tiny, just like the holes on these things, they're teeny tiny. So I use torch cleaning tips to force them through there just so slightly to clean out them holes. They don't take much to idle, so the holes are super tiny. Once you've ran your torch cleaning tip through it, you're going to spray it with this carburetor parts cleaner. You're going to make sure it can make it through it. Just like so. We'll stick it up to the edge. Just make sure your parts cleaner can get through it, because if the parts cleaner can't, then your gas can. So we'll just put it up against the tip of it like that and just spray it right through. And that'll let you know it's good and cleared out, and you'll set it aside. And you'll do the same thing with this tube. You'll clean out all these little holes that are in this tube the same way with your torch tip cleaners and parts cleaner. And then you'll clean out your center jet. And then normally, if these were really nasty, you'd soak these bowls and everything and scrub them out real good. But hell, I might be able to just scrape all this stuff or spray all this stuff out, and it'll be fine to go back on the bike. So. Alright, I'm going to get these all cleaned out, reassemble this carb, we'll get it back on the bike, we'll see what we got. Okay, so now we put the carbs and everything back on here, got them clean, put it back on. Let's see if we can make this puppy run. Okay. Now it looks like the carbs are leaking a little bit, so I'm going to have to order a gasket kit for them for sure. does run, but she's only running on one cylinder too. The cylinder on this side's not running. So either she's choked out on this side, or spark plug's bad on this side, or the coil's bad on this side. But she does run. And the reason I can tell that is because the exhaust is still cold on that other side, which means this side is the only one that's running. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. I'm so thankful this thing runs, because like I said, when I bought it I was prepared for the worst, because I didn't even know if it turned over or nothing, because the back tire was locked up. You know, so I was prepared for the worst, but thankfully I got this thing at a low enough price that I mean, it's awesome now at this point just because it runs. I still need to order some gaskets and stuff for the carburetors because they leak, because I didn't have a gasket kit on hand for this video. But it does run, and that's awesome. So like, that's what I was saying, guys, like, take the chances, man. Just because they says it don't run, I've literally bought the bike and I've spent no other money on it so far except for a battery, and I've literally took it from left for dead to running. So stay tuned, subscribe guys, because part 2 of this is going to be coming out soon. I'm going to get a gas tank for it. I'm going to get some gaskets for the carburetor. I'm going to try to get some turn signals for it. I'm going to try to get all this thing ordered, all this stuff ordered in. That way we can actually get this thing running good and take it for a ride. So you guys ain't going to want to miss that. God bless you all, and I will see you on the next one.